Many people start their alcohol-free journey with an attempt to stop drinking for a month. Today we're going to look at 8 things to expect when stopping drinking for 30 days. We're going to look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share some experience from other people who have gone through 30 days without alcohol. So make sure to stay tuned to the very end. Hey guys, Leon Sylvester here. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Now guys, just before we get into the video, I've put together a totally free training showing you the 3 biggest secrets that make stopping drinking effortless and enjoyable. You can get instant access to it by clicking the link in the description. Now guys, before I successfully stopped drinking, I had tried what pretty much everybody else was telling me that I should do. I tried willpower, I tried AA, and I tried moderating. But sadly, nothing worked. I always ended up back at square one. Now, in the video below, you're going to learn about how willpower isn't actually required to stop drinking. You're going to learn about how stopping drinking is actually enjoyable. And you'll also learn about how there is absolutely nothing wrong with your personality. So again, guys, click the link in the description to get instant access to that video. Now, just before I tell you my story, my experience during the first 30 days was honestly not bad at all. Before creating this video, I was actually talking to a few Sober Clear members about their experience in the first 30 days. And to be honest, there was a total mix of answers. Some people found the first 30 days fantastic. They recognized benefits pretty much from day one. However, others found the first 30 days more challenging. But they stuck through it and the benefits became apparent at a later date. Just because it was a little bit more challenging doesn't mean that they gave up. There was just a bit of a bigger delay between stopping drinking and feeling fantastic again. However, that moment did happen. So when I share my experience with you, it might not be the same as yours. So guys, some of you may already know that my personal journey to stopping drinking started with a huge rock bottom. I had previously stopped drinking using willpower for 7 to 8 months. I had the good old just one drink, and this spiraled into a series of binge drinking. Now 9 months later, I had a rock bottom moment, and what had happened is I woke up after an extremely heavy night. I took stock of everything and I realized I had minus 2 grand in the bank. I just moved back to Oxford after quitting my job in London. I was working in a restaurant and I was staying in a friend's bedroom whilst he was on holiday because I was so broke. I looked around and there was rubbish all over the room and I was just like an emotional wreck. Again, like I said, I was working in a restaurant again and it was like my life had gone backwards. For some reason, that morning, I just woke up in disbelief. I knew that the alcohol had to go. It was the one thing holding me back from reaching my true potential in my life. Now, because it was a rock bottom moment, none of the positives of alcohol existed. I could only personally see the negatives. So it became very simple to stop. However, I still made it a priority to study alcohol, go towards a better life, and do first principles thinking. Honestly, the first few days were a complete blur. I actually have no idea if they were difficult or not. I literally have no recollection of the first few days. But personally, I don't remember any severe withdrawals, but bear in mind that I hadn't been a chronic drinker for multiple years. I was more of a binge drinker that would go out of control 3 to 5 nights per week. I'd say I'd have one drink and it would just go into chaos. I just could never have one drink. And honest to God, I would cause havoc during those binges. Now, because this rock bottom moment hit me so hard, I must have worked through any of this pain and just realized that it was all part of the process. I'm really not exaggerating when I say that I can't remember the first few days. I really cannot remember a single thing. However, there was one moment that I will never forget. I remember after a few days, something clicked. It was like this rush. I realized that I'd managed to stop drinking again. This was after going down a slippery path for 9 months. During those 9 months, I knew that I was doing something wrong. So the moment I realized that I had beaten it, it felt unreal. It was like an extreme rush of endorphins and happiness. I literally thought to myself like, holy cow, I can actually reach my potential again. And I felt sheer euphoria. I just knew I had cracked the code and it was the best feeling that I had ever felt. At this point, I was in the process of trying to start a personal training business from scratch for the second time. I'd been trying to transition into the gym, but I was working in the restaurant and alcohol just kept getting in the way. Now, as soon as I had this moment of euphoria, I knew that I could accomplish anything that I set my mind to. I was already a non-drinker and there was nothing standing in my way. So literally within a week or two of stopping, I got back into the gym as a trainer once again, and I just focused like I've never focused before on building my business. I just felt this rush of clarity and excitement and energy that the life of my dreams was now within reach. Literally all I now had to do was put in the work. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about my story and how I stopped drinking, then do make sure to check out the video that I put together that's in the description below. So, my experience with stopping drinking might not resonate with a lot of people. Stopping drinking for 30 days is different for everyone. Now, we're going to hear some examples from people in the Sober Clear community shortly. Some people, they have like a very similar experience to mine. They get this rush of endorphins and they just realize that this is it. They've cracked the code. They've gotten rid of it. However, others do have a very rough few days or maybe even a few weeks. Now, there is a very small percentage of people who can have severe withdrawals. I just want to say that if you think that is you must seek immediate medical advice. However, most people can go through any withdrawals or any pain without too much trouble. Sure, do you know what? Those people may feel bad. Energy might be lower, they might get the shakes, and they may feel a little bit of the flu. But most people can get through that the same way they can get through a hangover. Some people compare withdrawal to the flu. And if you ask me, a few days of feeling under the weather in exchange for the freedom of not having your life dominated by alcohol is a wonderful trade-off. The point of the matter is that whatever you are going through, it's entirely normal. If you have any major concerns, you must visit a medical professional. Let's take a look at some of the benefits of stopping drinking for 30 days. The first thing is better sleep. During the first 30 days, according to this study, 7 out of 10 people report better sleep. A quick Google search will also find lots of anecdotal personal stories saying that sleep has improved. Even small amounts of alcohol are thought to mess with sleep. So most people can expect this to improve. The second thing, stopping drinking for 30 days also means that you'll save some money. If you were anything like me, a night out would involve spending, £50 or $60. Doing that 10 to 15 times per month gets pretty damn expensive. Not to mention all the extra money that I'd waste on fast food and taxis. Now, I've spoken about clarity many times. People often say that they are able to think much clearer. I've heard people say that they stopped making mountains out of molehills. What about some of the challenges for not drinking for 30 days? Now, with benefits, there may be certain challenges that you will need to overcome, so let's break these down now. The first thing is resistance from friends and family. Some friends and family may well show some signs of resistance. You may well have supportive friends and family members. However, some of us aren't so lucky. The best advice that I ever received was to set some clear boundaries. You need to communicate very clearly what you will and will not tolerate from someone. Then, if somebody crosses that boundary, it means having a conversation with that person and telling them that what they did is unacceptable. For some people, this can be a challenging obstacle to overcome, especially when stopping drinking for 30 days. But you have everything in your power right now to deal with it. The second thing is withdrawal. Now, withdrawal can be serious. Some people say that the withdrawal of stopping drinking is challenging. However, this is very case-by-case dependent. Some people get sick, some have the shakes, and some get a very low mood. If withdrawal gets progressively worse, then you must seek medical advice. However, for most people, it's just going to be part of the process. Most people can get through any kind of withdrawal just fine. Most people say that withdrawal is a little bit like the flu. Some people will feel alone. They might not have a support group around them. If that's you, then I'm going to link you to the Sober Clear community in the description below. It's a Facebook group, and Facebook groups can really help you connect with other people living their best lives without alcohol. Now, as promised, I've got a few quotes to share from other people in their first 30 days alcohol-free. I asked a few members of the Sober Clear community, and here's what they said. Trevstead, it's still early days for me, but I just feel great. I drank for 33 years and this is the first time I feel so good about being sober. I work on a building site which is extremely challenging work. Honestly, I have no idea how I used to do this job. My thinking is much clearer now that I've stopped and I'm excited about the future. Next is Barbie. Honestly, during the first 30 days, I didn't feel so great. I felt really lethargic and that wasn't cool. I know some people feel great during the first 30 days, but that wasn't me. I slept a lot, and it was actually probably around the 40th day that I started to feel great again. Somehow, the final time I stopped for 30 days, something clicked. There were 40 years of heavy drinking leading up to this moment. My favourite saying is, don't stop before the miracles happen. If you're struggling in the first 30 days, better days are certainly ahead. Like I said, my first 30 days were pretty straightforward, and that might be because I'd hit like a rock bottom. Some people find the first 30 days a little bit more challenging, but finding the first 30 days challenging is part of the process for a lot of people. So guys, don't forget to check out the video in the description if you want to learn more about my story, some of the benefits of stopping drinking. Click the videos on the screen now.